Big stories you're talking about in the big one today. Local lawmakers skeptical about U.S. involvement in Libya. Military was involved in a number of missile strikes over the weekend, all aimed at compounds that belonged to Muammar Gaddafi, including his residence in Libya. No word on casualties, whether he was there at the time. The military in Libya has been crippled by the attacks. The U.S. now ready with other NATO leaders to enforce the no-fly zone over Libya. U.S. Representative Jeff Davis of Northern Kentucky, a Republican who is an Army Ranger himself, says the president has no authority to put U.S. forces at risk in Libya. He says since national security isn't threatened, the president should have come to Congress first for permission to take action there. House Speaker John Boehner is supporting the president on this one. The Republican speaker says he would like to see the president more clearly identify what the U.S.'s role in Libya is going to be and what the end goal is there. The president has a news conference for 2 today from Chile. He could address that. You'll hear him live here on The Big One. Home sales in the Tri-State are bucking the national trend. Sales in February here were better than they were in January and better than February a year ago. That's even though national numbers are down. In the Tri-State, sales were up 7%. However, the average home price, the sales price, was down to $144,000. That's a 3% drop. Talking budget cuts tonight, Cincinnati School Board is meeting. They are facing some $80 million in slashing spending next year because of cuts in federal, state funding. School board's been asking people who live in the district what they would like to see eliminated, and whether they would support a tax increase. Tonight, the meeting is at 7 at the Education Center on Burnett. Batavia also meeting tonight. School board there talking about cutbacks. Jobs are on the line there. Busing service could be restricted as part of their effort to balance the budget. The Batavia meeting at 7 at Batavia High School. Covington City Commission's meeting tonight. They are hoping that they can convince the owner of the waterfront, Jeff Ruby, to keep his floating restaurant in Covington. Ruby's restaurant broke loose earlier this month during flooding on the Ohio with 80 diners on board. The people were rescued. The restaurant really didn't suffer any significant damage, but Ruby has said he's not sure that he wants to continue to operate a floating restaurant. He's talked about selling the waterfront or maybe moving it somewhere else. Covington tonight would like to talk to an engineer about what it would take to put the restaurant at Covington Landing where B&B riverboats operate. Cincinnati Reds on the big one today. This starts the Reds broadcast throughout the rest of the season. You'll be able to hear the rest of the spring training action each day on the big one, as well as all the Reds games, hopefully, into late October. Today, airtime 3:35 with the inside pitch from Arizona.